Right. No.
Right, welcome back to section 3 of episode 5, or whatever it is. We're going to touch on, in this period, we're going to touch on... Alright, Sam. We're going to touch on the local non-league scene, and we'll finish off with a few just football tidbits. Because, to be brutally honest with you, none of us really have seen a lot of local non-league football just lately, have we? You've seen a bit. You've been to a few All Road games. We'll start with All Road. They're probably our nearest and dearest. What's the scene like at All Road this year, Pete, so far?
Well, they only win when I'm not there, so probably good incentive not to go. Again, it's this aspect of change. They've lost 3 main strikers, lost centre half, lost midfield. Lots of new players, not the youngsters coming through. It's going to take time to gel. They're certainly not going to be at the top end of the table this season, but hopefully when some of these youngsters bed in properly and they get used to playing together, hopefully it'll be a mid-table sort of side or something like that. That's probably as best you can do, really, to be quite honest.
What's tickled your fancy?
No, I just think that's our level of ambition for all of our sides,
isn't it? Local area, yeah.
Well, if City, Hall Road and Ferriby could be mid-table sides this year, we'd
yeah.
That's one three.
Well, last season I said 10 would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Mm. But you said last season that was with the girls, wasn't it, of sort of Chris Binks,
Josh Fatty, who was doing really well.
Yeah, Danny Norman, Ferriby, so on. Yeah, so they've lost a lot of kind of senior players there.
That's right, and you know, composure at that level is essential, and it's going to take a while for people to sort of come in. You need somebody who can just slow it down in midfield and make sure it's just not going punting upfield. And
is that not what step 5 and step 6 football should, and step 7 football should all be about though? We've talked about the progression of the better players at our local step 5 clubs.
Of course they should.
Going on to better things, Mail, Piercy, Josh.
Yep.
1 or 2 others. I mean, obviously that is the be-all, not the be-all and end-all, because obviously these clubs want to win things, don't they? But from a player's point of view, the progression into the next...
Oh, absolutely. I think the idea that they've got of bringing in sort of the under-19s and developing them, and you know, there's some genuine talent there.
Yeah.
But it's the usual sort of thing, a bit like with the City, when you haven't got experienced pros alongside, or experienced players. It's difficult for them to develop and get the maturity. You can't expect lads of 17 to be playing like lads of 27.
Yeah.
Especially when there's like 4 or 5 of them in the side and such, and you know, there's probably 3 or 4 in the side that were in the side towards the end of last season.
This is where you edit in Alan Hansen going, you don't win anything with kids.
Well, no, it's not so much that. I mean, when you look at say Barton, they've got a few youngsters in Wardby and people like that, but I mean, essentially they've been sort of hoovering up all the experienced players and they're obviously paying a reasonable wage to people, and you would expect them to be at the top end of the table.
Yeah,
a bit like Brudder's been in the past. At the end of the day, it's difficult to get promotion out of that division with only 1 going up now.
Yeah.
And you just question what you're trying to do. It's almost like down to the Championship where you're pumping money into players to try and get your promotion to the
chasing the dream.
To the dream.
Yeah.
But to go to the Northern Premier East, is it really going to be?
Is it worth it? Yeah.
Well, not so much is it worth it. I mean, sport, you've got to win and you've got to want to progress. But at the end of the day, you can spend an awful lot of money trying to get up 1 level.
Yeah.
But it's not going to add anything on your gate. You might get a little bit more in sponsorship, but
you get on Sky more.
Well, you might feel Leeds United.
Leeds United in the northern counties.
In the northern counties, that's the dream, isn't it?
That's the dream, yeah.
It's not that level, isn't it?
Yeah, she says.
Yeah, it's a shame we're not able to get on to All Road this season, because they've not had many midweek games at all, have they?
No, well, because the top of the league size down a bit.
Yeah,
and because they're not playing in the cups. Who else are we seeing? Grimsby looked quite impressive, but it's not really coming into sort of results just yet.
We were at the 10-0 game against Bolsover. which was the first time I've ever seen a 10. I don't know about you, but...
No way. Oh! Great goal! Jesus Christ. I've never seen a 10.
I've seen it now.
That
No,
was...
Paul Silver in it. Yeah, a bit of a turkey shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the last 10 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Who else have we seen this year?
Winterton looked very impressive.
Yes, Winterton, yeah, with the Gobby manager. Yeah.
Come on, lad, get in here. Come on! Must be!
I think they're unbeaten. I think they've won 8 out of 8.
They weren't massively fancied, were they, going into the season?
No, but look, he's got.
No, I finished last season well, though.
Yeah.
Although we spoke to somebody who was something behind the scenes at Winterton, and he did say to us, didn't he, that they were making a sort of concerted effort this year to be up there.
Yeah.
And so far it's been proved right.
Great little club, Winston, isn't it? You really like to see them do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the surprise is Cleethorpes, isn't it? Having an awful start after promotion up into the second.
Well, yeah, to say they've got the
the
best of Hall Road and the west of Grimsby Town.
Yeah,
At that level, that should be.
When you got players like Disley and Vernon and Gary North, there's a lot of experience.
Crazy
Players.
players.
Sam Topless, one they played for Ferry a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean, I think the good news there is obviously Josh Batty getting into the team and winning Player of the Month.
Is Big Mark?
Well done, Josh. Big Mark, I don't know. I think he's been in the team. I think he's been in the team with Mark Gray.
Yeah.
But again, you know, players operate at a much higher level. Yeah, I was looking, just to see whether Lewis Collins, excellent at North Ferriby last season.
Yeah, people kind of hung on to him.
Yeah, I was looking at the table to see where they were, and I kind of knew they started badly, but I didn't realise, I was going down the table going, well, they've got a PSC. Shit, where are they? We're at the bottom. Yeah, and that seems incredible. A team with that kind of ability to be bottom of the league even after half a dozen matches. Maybe they'll turn it around.
Time for them to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, the talent they've got there, you probably say on paper it's a better squad than Ferriby have got. But they're not going to achieve well at the moment.
Because we've seen Scarborough.
Yeah, Scarborough, a lot of connections there to the area, isn't there?
Yeah.
They look pretty comfortable there.
Oh, God, get in! Been coming though, hasn't it? Been coming.
Yeah, I mean the setup there is tremendous. It was 1,100 in for the Ferriby match. They're getting 1,000 plus every week. Brand new stadium. It looks well set to do another Division right, doesn't it?
Them and Shields are very much set up for the next level, aren't they? Probably the level after that, to be totally honest with you. Like you said, the crowds are touching.
They just don't want to be putting as many rubber granules on that pitch because that ball was bouncing.
That was the worst 3G, 4G pitch I think I've seen.
Yeah.
It was just shooting off on it.
When people were going in for tackles, you could see the spray of rubber coming up.
It wasn't the best, was it?
And
we won't get on to the fans, but there you go.
Brid struggling.
Yeah, brings us on nicely to Brid.
But again, it's a bit awkward at this time of year, isn't it? Because some teams have played 8 times and some have played 3 or 4.
I'm just looking at the table here actually. I mean, this is probably slightly out of date now, but it's.
Why has it still got wood out?
Are in the midweek feature. Well, I mean, Curtis has gone after 4 games. I mean, that's unheard of, really. 2 wins, 2 defeats.
Well, he brought a lot of lads in from out of town there as well, and he's bringing a lot of them. There's 3-4 coming from Sheffield, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it was the opposite of what you touched on earlier, saying about the young local lads. Brid have gone probably in the opposite direction, bringing in out of town players of a certain age. And Curtis touched on a certain mentality, a certain backbone, and 4 games in and he's gone. So, what do we make of that?
Well, I don't know.
Evening Curtis, by the way, if you watch it.
Yeah, he had an interesting weekend, didn't he? Because he quit boxing, Twitter and Bridlington Town in the same weekend, so...
Is that the new perfect hat-trick?
Well...
Did he quit Twitter?
I think he's quit Twitter, hasn't he? Yeah.
Social media.
I've seen one less gobshite on Twitter this weekend, so...
that was Rick Skelton for the...
City Live.
I don't think Curtis would deny being a gobshite. I think professional gobshite, I would say. But
I've said about this to you, where if Curtis was to make a comeback, bearing in mind that 18 months, 2 years ago, football, he allegedly could have had the Grimsby Town job, or he was linked with a host of Scottish jobs.
Yeah, by himself, I think.
Well, quite possibly. But where does he go now in terms of getting back into the game? If he has a year off, takes a breather.
That's a tricky thing, if you step out of it for so long, then people forget who you are, don't they? And Yeah, I mean, he's done a fair job at Britain, I don't think, to be fair to him, you know, but he's not, I mean, the money gone into it in this summer, you'd expect that team to go up to a decent start,
Yeah.
didn't you? Because,
In
can
fairness,
he get a job at a higher level? It's maybe geography will help him there, if there's a job that comes up,
yeah, but he's,
Yeah.
you know,
within an hour of this sort of East Yorkshire curse, he's going to be afraid, isn't he?
he's a good self-promoter, Curtis, and in fairness to him, he's good value. The joke about his Twitter, didn't follow him, so I don't really care, I don't know what he said. When I've met him, he's opinionated, he's a wind-up merchant, he's quite entertaining, you can see why, why his book could be good, you can see why he does okay with boxing, why he might do alright after dinner speaking or something like that. In terms of football management, let's be fair, he's managed Goldtown,
That went to shit.
yeah, he's managed Hull United,
That went to shit.
and he's managed Bridge Town, so, as much as he has been linked with some reasonable jobs, and like Nick says, I think he got himself linked with the Grimsby job. He's managed the Northern Counties and the very bottom of the Evo stick pyramid at goals. So he's a long way off coming in. I mean, I don't know where he goes. All road maybe.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I think we'd all go down and see that.
We'd go and watch it. He's good value. He's character, I think is the term.
Maybe he's gone too early this season from Brick, given the players he's brought in, another 3-4 matches.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what's being said behind the scenes
exactly,
and such like. He does have a bend in his bridges a little bit, doesn't he?
But if we're making, I'm making light of it, but the fact that he's given up Twitter, grid and boxing in one weekend suggests it's probably more of a lifestyle thing than
well, he's got his new gym.
than a win. Yeah.
And the thing is, he's always seemed to me to be...
Will he be any good at managing that?
He's always seemed to me to be sort of...
Terrible.
Sort of butterfly mind. He settles on something and it's the great idea. And then suddenly, something else takes his fancy. And he maybe doesn't see it through.
Do you think he'll focus on the boxing side?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's probably his true love. I think his vocation is actually boxing as opposed to
Yeah,
football
I
management.
can see him, I don't know whether the gym's just going to be sort of like an boxercise gym, or whether he's actually going to get up-and-coming boxers as a proper boxing gym.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen what Tommy Cole's been very successful with his 2 gyms. But it's
And his restaurant's rather nice as well.
is it all right?
Yeah.
But it's a well.
Somebody's after a free dinner.
Commercial plugs.
No, but it's just a case of what I mean. You can have a gym, but the old-fashioned boxing gym with you sort of like in Rocky or whatever.
Yeah, sweat and swords.
Yeah. I don't know what his plan is. I would suspect it's probably more the gym rather than the proper boxing.
Yeah, a community asset as opposed
Yeah,
to...
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting job, though, isn't it, Prid? Whoever they get in next, if they can keep that sort of band of players together, and Pete Smurfield's in the back of manager, isn't he? I think it's a club that potentially can go league high and go to the Evo Stick divisions.
They've brought in Brett.
Yeah, Brett.
And Anthony Bowsley.
Yeah, I think Anthony's Bowsley mute into it. I don't think I've ever heard him say anything on the top. But yeah, I mean, Brett's still a young.
Last time I saw Anthony, he was number 2 at East Yorkshire Carnegie to Jamie, so getting away with edge.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think Brett, if once his knee sorts himself out, he's still good enough to play, and it's whether he really wants that job long term, or he's just kind of filling the gap at the moment for the club. It might be an option, he might take to it, mightn't he? He's a nice lad, Brett. Well, whether he's going to be a manager or a player, if it goes well.
Play a manager role next year?
I think he'd be in that non-league level that's gone, I think, surely. That kind of role where you've got to do both things is becoming so demanding into it. I don't think many people do.
We did see one though, didn't we? We saw one at Mickle over here. It was fair play.
But the rarity is out of these days, I think.
What could have been if Brett had stayed at Furby? I mean,
arguably his level.
Possibly. I mean, it'd have given them sort of the brute force up front.
The bully.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, well that's the local non-league scene touched upon. As we have said, it is early days yet, so we'll wrap up this section just talking sort of like general football as such, of stuff that's really gone on in the last few days really.
Have you seen the 1860 Munich kit?
Prepared notes. Yeah, the 3rd strip, with the... Yes.
You seen
Was it Western Granthams pink number on Tuesday?
It is.
Yeah, it's a
it is.
Yeah.
It is completely
You
shocking.
You can't show us if you're on camera, Pete. You can't show us on
Yeah, zoom in, hold up to camera.
Oh dear God, what is that?
Christ on a
It's
bike.
the shorts that just...
It's the Munich. It's the Munich
That was
Fest.
interactive.
Hey.
It's the tribute to Munich Fest. So
It's a
the
tribute.
blue and white shirt looks like tablecloth sort of thing. And
For Sicily.
the shorts are styled on lederhosen.
Right, okay. Just be careful you don't show your Google history on that camera.
Might be for a pair of the shorts.
No, so I mean I don't know what they're going to do at warming up. Are they going to do it on the fire?
Drink beer afterwards.
Yeah.
Right, this week in football, I put
This
I
week,
was
that's
going to
what
put
I'm thinking, right?
5 for
This
fun,
week
but I
in
put actually the last 5 minutes, so I best wrap it up quick. In a week when Gary Neville has been on the, I don't know if it was on the radio or in the news or in the written media or whatever, and he's told Liverpool to concentrate on Europe because he doesn't think they've got the big enough squad. And Jamie Carragher has countered and told Marcus Rashford to leave Man United for the better of his career.
Mhm.
In one word, Mank or Scouse, who's the bigger
Well,
twat?
I was just going to say, why are we talking about these novice? Carragher and
I forgot, what was that, the very match on Tuesday, England weren't even playing because it's not on ITV anymore, is it? You can't even watch England anymore.
And that's a bad thing.
What was it?
It was
On
on
the Sky?
It was on
Sky,
Sky,
yeah.
in the
That
league.
Nations League thing in the friendlies are
Are
we're back to the
Yeah,
90s.
so like the Premier League,
Sky.
yeah.
Because Sky have lost the Spanish football and the Dutch, so they've got to get some football. And
Yeah,
that's
so,
what they've
so
gone.
Premier League, Champions League, I don't follow that much because I can't watch
No,
it. So
I
I won't
don't
watch
do
England
that.
anymore. So Rashford, fuck him, he jumped off a City or Ferry, I don't really care.
But not about Rashford, or Neville or Carragher.
Well, none of them are therapy, or City. They do a job.
Oh, I don't know, Ben Leyland is way better than Gary Neville though.
Do you think Ben Leyland looks like Mesut Ozil?
No.
No?
No,
Have you got the right play?
probably not. I'll find it later on. I was looking through the squad
If
picks
you
the
said
other night.
Per Mertesacker, you might be onto some.
No, it's definitely Mesut Ozil. I'll find the picture of who I'm thinking of. It's not Ben Leyland. We'll edit that bit out.
No, I'll leave it in.
I'm going to go for the squad picks later.
Shows you how often he sees Ferry.
It's right, yeah, I can recognise them. Right, well,
Shall I put sort of
picture on at this point.
pictures
Yeah.
like-
I'll find who it was.
What next time I video, I might sort of do sort of like have them walk up to me. You
Look
know?
at
Yeah.
It's not freaking Sky TV.
Sky's
Walk
all-
across that.
Well, Danny Norton said that he was going to run up to us if that last one had gone in, that way shot at the end on Tuesday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd have been a good
He
one.
knew we were there, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He won't be running up to us when we do the next bit in the
Right,
fantasy.
you'd have probably made us from the touchline.
Right, National League. Top at the moment, Harrogate, or they were when I wrote these notes down anyway. Are we surprised, and can they keep it up? Bearing in mind that, for my money, the National League at the moment
Yeah.
is one of the best leagues in football.
They're another one, Harrogate, aren't they? Well, they want to keep it up because they're another one who are going to have to rip up their pitch if they get
Start
started.
again.
I don't think money's an object, is it, particularly there? But the Bancroft's it's maybe a bit harsh, isn't it? But the owner there is the guy who builds most of the North, doesn't he? With his company, so they've got a lot of money behind them. And I think their plan is always to rip it up. To
The
get
manager's
more shape.
dad, isn't it?
Yeah, the manager's dad.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
No, it's they put a lot into that club.
Yeah, it's
I first
fun.
went to Harrogate about 8-9 years ago, and it's come on a bundle. It's a little bit landlocked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being so close to the centre and everything, but certainly a place with potential. Never really thought it had potential to be a league club, though. I would say I kind of thought this was.
You expect them to drift away a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Do a guys.
Could it be well, I hate to say it, the demise of York?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, they
yeah.
still get reasonable crowds. but
Yeah, you always get the impression I think Harrogate's like Hull is infested with Leeds fans to a degree, isn't it? There's a lot of people there don't know what Leeds
Good
United
choice of
infested,
description.
yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of vermin there who's got Leeds, so that's the problem they're going to have, isn't it? But they seem to be getting 1,000 plus don't they, at the moment. So, like you said, like you go back to Hull City and that connection to the community, isn't it? Harrogate getting it right at that level. Then it's a full
It's a
time
great story. And in fairness,
there's
it'll
chance,
become a bigger national story because anybody who beats Salford this season is going to be
Yeah,
is
everybody
going to be a
looks at
story.
Salford, don't they?
Well, they had a relatively slow start in this over, but they kind of hit their straps just late.
Yeah,
I think they
picking
got
up
4 or
some
5
results,
bounce,
but
didn't they?
not really
convincing.
doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching out for Wrexham, because they've got Sam
Mm.
Ricketts as manager, who
Yeah.
was City right back when we won promotion to the Premier League the first time. That's a proper sleeping giant at that level, isn't it? Although, in fairness, there's some sleeping giants at the level below, like Pete mentioned, York and Stockport, who should be right up there. So it's, I think it is a fascinating league, and I think it's one of those things where the more these teams coming out of the league don't like Wrexham. Wrexham have been in there now a good 5 years.
5 or 6 years.
Chesterfield aren't doing much this season, are they? Leighton Orient and Hartlepool are struggling in there.
Yeah.
Dagenham have gone to shit, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're struggling financially, aren't they?
But there are a lot of teams.
Taylor and Church.
A lot of teams who are sort of traditional league teams who are getting marooned in that league, and that just makes it sort of more impressive. And it is a tough league because it's very London centric, with a lot of teams down there, Bournemouth and Bromley and Orient. A lot of treks as well. So if someone like Hartlepool, it'd be even more impressive because like you say, they're travelling a long way every other week. And their midweek games are probably teams around them.
Well, I think it was the Sutton United manager was on the radio, and he said that by the end of September, first week in October, they'll have played 14 league games. The league have made a thing about getting the games in early, with a view to last year's bad weather and etc. But he was saying it's too much. It's virtually a third of the season in the first 2.5 to 3 months is. And they've just been involved in that Scottish Cup thing, haven't they?
Oh, that's great.
How does that even happen?
I don't know, but I wish City were in it.
Yeah. I don't know something you can learn about a fixture thing like that, and then Swan up to Scotland to play.
Yeah,
Did they win at Airdrie or something?
Crazy.
The other team lost at Dunfermline, was it? On penalties. It was Bournemouth, something like that.
I think Bournemouth were in it as well, and then there's a couple of Welsh teams, and is it Crusaders from Northern Ireland?
Yeah, because you were a pretty good weekend out, wasn't it?
No, it's a great competition. I would love to be in that, and we still wouldn't win it.
We had about City.
Yeah. I think Furby would take it.
Yeah.
We'll get into
it. Right, we'll finish off with Gareth Southgate on the radio, and I listened to it the other day. It was almost in an impossible position. The start of the radio programme was the talking of England fans falling out of love with, they were on the verge of losing 4 on the trot. I know they won, so it wasn't 4 on the trot. But Southgate was getting a lot of 50-50 stick on the radio in terms of what he was picking from and actually who he was picking. Now, where does the sympathy, he was picking players that basically weren't turning out for the club side. The argument on the radio was he's devaluing the shirt, blah, blah, blah. But by the same token, you can only pick what's in front of you, can't you? Where do you three stand on England?
Alan Brazil asks questions quicker than you.
Yeah, this was Jim White.
You started this question last
Send it to
Tuesday.
Gareth Crooks.
I
He talks for 5 minutes, then you don't realise there's actually a question in there. So
it's not compatible with a global league, is it? That's the thing.
It's difficult, right? But what I don't get is that 3 months ago, right, the entire country was on this World Cup craze, and we were all remembering why we loved England in the first place. How in 3 months has everybody fallen out of love with England and fallen out of love with Gareth Southgate, who was the best thing since?
We haven't. It's the media hype, isn't it? Which led them on to this
you
debate.
listen to a radio station that's full of morons. I think
Well,
it's probably the answer. I mean, it's difficult because even before the World Cup, there was complaints about the England squad. But there isn't a pool of players to pick from, is there? There's about...
Which is my longer question.
Yeah.
We are picking from a shallower pool. Do we see the knock-on effects for the next... God knows how many years?
But then haven't got talented youth sort of coming through. So
They are coming through.
Yeah.
they've got to get
Yeah,
experience,
so
and they've got to get experience
Well,
at
they
the
don't-
right level.
Yeah.
The big one for me is... no great time to forget his name.
Further answer.
No, it's kid at Chelsea.
Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
Edit that, Pete. Loftus-Cheek. He's in the England squad in the World Cup. He's playing games. He's making a difference. The first game, he made a difference when he came off the bench. And then he can't get a game at Chelsea again. Didn't get to go out on loan because, in fairness, he's probably too good to go on loan. But then now he's at Chelsea and now he's not playing. And that is the same. And like you say, Foden, I know he's a lot younger. He ain't going to get a game for Man City.
Yeah.
He's going to get drip-fed games. Big debate about Rashford earlier, like Nick says, who gives a shit. But
Mrs. Rashford.
players have to play. And that will always be the problem with England, is that the Premier League is so short term. There are far too many players in there who are mediocre foreign players, stopping English players play. It's been 20 years now that this has crept, and it's got worse and worse and worse. Don't do anything about it. Nobody cares enough.
The other aspect as well is they trot out statistics and say, oh, there's 30% whatever are English qualified, etc. But you've also got to drill down a bit further. At the minute, we're back like we were 30, 40 years ago, where we've got lots of decent goalkeepers. You know, we're taking 3 goalkeepers to the World Cup who are all...
play for Burnley.
Well, no, but we've got... We're well equipped with goalkeepers, but playmakers... the playmakers are all foreigners, aren't they? They're a Hazard and people like that. And it's a similar sort of thing you get in Super League. You know, you get so many foreign Australians and New Zealanders and whatever. They're all English. Yeah, they're all scrum halves. They're all playmakers and stuff.
How many non-foreign Australians do we?
Well, so actually, some of them become. I mean, Ranji Chase in New Zealand or somebody became an Englishman for some reason.
Roger Chase.
Well, that's all we need to do, don't we? Nationalise De Bruyne.
No, but that's it. You look at the England squad and you know, centre forwards. We've got Kane. And Vardy.
No, Vardy's quit.
Vardy's quit, yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it. You
want Rashford to be playing.
You want Rashford to be playing, but he's not going to be playing. And you know, it's key. Some of the key positions, you just haven't got.
That was the argument they were having. Does Rashford go to a lesser club, admittedly in the Premier League, but maybe from say 6th downwards? He isn't going to do that because that will be seen as a downward step.
Yeah, and he's not going to get as much money.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not going to get the promotions and commercial side of things.
Yeah.
He's not going to get on the bench for Champions League and get a few run-outs here and there. You know, from a career point of view, you've got this strange situation where do you want to play, and playing can make you in a worse off position than actually sitting on the bleeding bench.
Don't say he doesn't play out Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, come on with the stats.
Come on with the stats.
Stick them in your face.
If you're a football, you look at everything. Champions League is higher than international.
No, but even when he's playing, he's not playing as centre forward.
Yeah, right.
I was going to quote Rick's productivity stats, but I couldn't find any.
There was an interesting argument, which was that
I'm on my way.
20, 30 years ago, you had to play well in club football to get an England cap. Now,
You just have to be.
you have to play well for England to try and get any club side.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Rashford, is that he looks very important to that England team, but it doesn't make him any more important to Manchester United.
Very true.
Which is strange, but for me it's all support of Southgate, because he has to manage all of this. He has to manage the small pool of players, and all he can do, like we're asking of our Chris Boulders and Nigel Adkins, is do the best with what he has. Being as how we just got to a World Cup semi-final 3 fucking months ago, he clearly is. And you know, and we lost to Croatia in extra time in a World Cup semi-final, our 3rd one ever. Who are these morons who are ringing in the radio of somebody falling out of love with England?
No, it's the presenters.
Oh, right, well, they are morons.
But did Southgate get it right last time he found out?
Who cares if they lost anywhere or England? That's it. I don't know. I can't remember. It was 3 months ago. I can't remember yesterday.
Right, I think we'll wrap it up at that point.
Yeah.
Thanks for not nodding off during our little rambles there about football. Hopefully we'll be back recording soon. We'll try and do another podcast before next season.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to everybody that we don't manage to catch. As mentioned before, we'll just finally plug the fanzine. It is available to pre-order if you go to the @VFTAE Twitter account. £2. Everybody around this table contributes. Give it a whirl. It's a pretty decent read.
I'm not contributing £2.
And we'll see you all next time.